Hello and welcome to this semi-final here at the Women's Masters in Basel, a CCT event. Team Silvana Tirinzoni of Switzerland playing Team Anna Hasselborg from Sweden. My name is Bastian Rees and I am commentating here today with Roger Gulka. Hi Roger.
Well, hello again. And we're back to see actually a Sweden-Switzerland game for the semi-final against Team Tirinzoni, who was actually playing the final last year, and young team of Anna Hasselborg. And yeah, we're looking forward to this game. And we hope we'll see some good offensive curling. As the game just has started, Team Tirinzoni having the last rock, having outdrawn the Swedes. So now we see both teams to start the game without taking too much risk. First draw of Sweden went right through the house, but the second one came in nicely top of the forefoot. And now Marlene Albrecht playing the open hit, trying to get the roll behind the corner guard. Seems like they gave up on that roll, and this rock will just stay in the center, and Anna Hasselborg asking a little hit and roll to the other side to make. There's Agnes Knochenhauer playing second for the Swedish team. Both Hasselborg and Agnes have played for a long time together, already in juniors. They were together. And both teams also qualified from the A Road. Yesterday we saw Team Tirinzoni playing the skins game against Binja Felcher, who also qualified for the semi-final. Anna Hasselborg having not played finally that game, but won a tight game against Japan this morning. And now it's a little game of hits and trying to get that roll. It's not coming right now. And Tirinzoni just giving a little bit more ice than before. As the Neinschwander tries again a little hit and roll. This team from Tirinzoni, who is actually the defending Swiss champion team. They played the World Championships in Riga in Latvia. It was a big event over there, and well, this new nation of curling actually organized a really nice World Championship. And we see finally, after Esther rolled out, Anna Hasselborg taking a defensive option there by asking her third, Karin Rudström, to remove the corner guard and roll out.
Doesn't quite roll out. still could provide some backing for a Swiss stone, even though it was swept all the way.
Yeah.
So Silvana Tirinzoni trying to come around this corner guard.
Well,
with third Manuela Sigrist.
Well, by missing that peel there, they recreate a chance for two for the Swiss team. We've seen quite a lot of those rocks on the side, curling a little bit more than expected. Manuela Sigrist going for the draw. It seems a little bit wide and fast.
Well, it looks
Sweepers
a bit quick
completely
to me
gave up on it. They're not going to waste their energy. And this rock just goes right through the house. And now Anna Hasselborg, who has a guard of her own, will try herself. Well, her third, really. She will ask her third to draw behind. And it seems quite close, but it has to curl a bit.
Still quite open, I would say.
Yeah, completely open.
So
Tirinzoni will try the little hit and roll. Yeah, also, the teams have to be a little careful sometimes when they come from inside out, is that the rock at the end doesn't curl very much anymore, as it's like the ice is a bit cut sideways and it's going up a slope. Actually, yesterday there was a rock to win the game that was thrown inside out, takeout, and went straight by, didn't curl. Oh, and that was really close to the guard.
Just hits it enough to remove it from the game.
Yeah, well. I suppose she played maybe a little bit inside. Managed to get it past the guard. Half the job has been accomplished anyway. And now Anna Hasselborg will try once again to draw behind. Young skip Anna Hasselborg. Coming from a big, let's say, curling dynasty in Sweden. Many Hasselborgs played curling. Sadly for her, she just wrecks off the guard, and yeah, Tirinzoni, no questions asked. Well, play the open hit. So while we're in this first end, we always want to remind you that if you have any questions or comments about what we say or about the game, or about any curling question in general, you're always welcome to write to us on this email address that you see at the bottom of your screen, live@curlingchampionstour.org. We have the computer right here, and we will see when we receive your emails, and we can answer live here on laula1.tv. And Anna will not take any risk and throw this takeout with a bit of weight on the side. She wants to hit and stay.
Yeah, those takeouts on the side are always a bit tricky, especially at the start of the game. because it's not usually a path you play in normally. So you have to be pretty careful not to underthrow it, because a fresh path means fresh pebble, which can be a bit more aggressive than already used pebble, which you will find more likely in the middle of the sheet.
Yeah, well, she threw a lot of weight. Maybe it was a little wide. That rock went really, really straight and actually nearly touched the side of the sheet before hitting Tirinzoni's rock. Finally rolled out, so Tirinzoni will just throw her rock across the rings, keep the last rock advantage for the next end. Usually use this kind of situation to test the ice, just throw in a place that you don't really know, see how the rock reacts, so that you will know for the next ends if ever you have to play in the same place. And so she plays inside out on her out turn. And yeah, we also want to remind you that for Anna Hasselborg's rock, that if it had touched the side of the rink before it had touched the rock, it would have been removed from play. And yeah, that would have been a big miss right off the bat, because it would have offered the chance for Tirinzoni to draw for 2. Well, luckily for her, it didn't happen, and despite the fact she didn't stay, I think she made the essential. It means taking out her opponent rock. She didn't force her to play really a takeout or anything, but anyway, they got 0, and now Tirinzoni in the second end will probably try and get a bit of action going there and take her chance to score 2. So maybe that Sandra Fligg will play. Well, she will play either a draw at the center. I mean, she will play in the center for sure, as when you don't have last rock, you always like to play in the middle, and then so it will be either a center guard or a draw top forefoot. Seems like more like a draw. They want a top forefoot just in front of the button. Seems like this rock's going just a little bit too far, and Tirinzoni sweeping as hard as she can. And not a very dangerous rock. They're thrown by Sandra Fligg. At some point or the other, Tirinzoni will have to play at it, but right now she's not really doing anything. She's ignoring this rock and asking Marlene Albrecht to throw a corner guard.
Yeah, we actually got a question here from Amalia Rutström from Sweden, asking us who are the commentators. Well, we said it earlier. My name is Bastian Weiss, and here at my side I have Roger Gulka.
We are perfect nobodies.
I wouldn't say nobodies. Just saying Roger has won the Junior Worlds, so quite a knowledgeable person when it comes to curling, I would think.
Yeah, we know a little bit about the game.
Yeah, bits and pieces. We try to bring across as much as we can.
Yeah. So here we see Marlene Albrecht, who actually used to play third for Tirinzoni. She's playing lead. And we can also see that she is left-handed. You have 2 hacks, one for right-handed on the left and one for left-handed on the right. Everything is opposite. You can see that in the curling equipment you got those special shoes. Sometimes hard to explain to people who don't know much about curling how it is, but there is one sole made out of Teflon, which slides a lot, and the other sole that's not made out of Teflon that slides, well, it slides a bit, but much less.
Let's say close to nothing.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to slide.
It's not supposed to slide for sure, anyway. And you see that curlers push out from the hack and slide out, like putting their weight on their sliding foot, the Teflon sole, which is a bit more white, as you can see there. And for right-handers, the Teflon sole is on the left foot and on the right foot for left-handers. After this attempt to freeze missed and this nice peel by Agnes Knochenhauer, who's an expert in those kinds of shots, Esther Nenschweinder will play just an open hit and try and do the double. And I think her goal is really to stay in the house. Seems a little bit wide.
Removes the two, but leaves as well.
Yeah. And now Anna Hasselborg once again taking no risk. This is the semifinal. It's for a place in the big final there later this afternoon.
And as you can hear, there is not only one game going on. At the same time, we have the team of Miriam Ott playing Team Felcher, two Swiss teams. You can hear it's only 2 games in this 5-sheet rink, but still the noise level is quite high. So if you ever hear some noise that doesn't quite make sense to what is happening to in the game you're watching, it's probably from sheet number 1.
Yeah. Only 2 games going on, but 2 important games. As we'll know at the end of them who will be playing the final. So at least one Swiss team will be, either Binia Felcher or Miriam Ott, that we saw winning against the defending champions just before. The team of Margaretha Siegfriedsen playing skip and lead. With Maria Wennerström, Christina Bertrup, and 4th Maria Pritz. So I think the Swedish team will be a little bit disappointed with their result, but they were playing also against a really tough team, and you know, sometimes those kinds of games where it's 50-50, both teams play really good, and one of them has to win. And so this time it was Miriam Ott, but who knows, another time maybe it will be the Swedes. But there's still a Swedish team there, and probably Siegfriedsen and her team are in the stands cheering for them now. Defend the Swedish honor and try and be the last Swedish team left, the last non-Swiss team left, but see if they can actually win this tournament. But for that, they have to pass Team Tirinzoni, as we see Manuela Siegrist with a really nice delivery, sliding down the ice.
Schön gespielt. Gut.
And Anna Hasselborg will play the hit. Cleaning the rock. Try and give yourself the most chances of success by getting rid of all the little impurities you can find on the ice. It sometimes gets stuck under the rock. And I really like Anna Hasselborg, very low sliding, and with that, I would say a little Swedish push release in a very Peja Lindholm style, where you hold the rocket by the tip of the handle and just push it out of your hand. Lots of Swedish players have this style. And I would say it's not the conventional release that you would learn in the curling books, at least maybe not in Sweden. Maybe in Sweden that's what's in their curling books, but it works fine because Sweden is a really successful nation in curling, and you know, as long as you're consistent, really, that's really what matters.
Yeah, I don't think that there is a solution which is the right solution for everybody. There is no right or wrong in technique, I would believe. It all depends on the consistency, which you mentioned before, how well you can play curling, not on how you use your technique.
Well, what you really are looking for is a certain consistency and a faculty of throwing the rock that has a predictable trajectory. And often what you're trying to do in the team is get similar releases so that all the rocks kind of have the same trajectory, because depending on how you release your rock, I mean, they can curl differently. And but I also have to say that there's no unique style of releasing the rock, but or no right or wrong. But also the techniques evolve along the years. I mean, for example, you used to see virtually no players really pushing the rock out of their hands maybe 10 years ago. And now actually see many players who just, when they release, just give a little hand push. Apparently, I don't know, it gives maybe a good sensation, you know, for the speed and etc. So the techniques also evolve. I mean, you can think about, for example, Carmen Schaefer, who has a little push release like this.
Yeah, well, the theory behind this is that since your arm is one of the most used parts of your body, you have the best feel for it. So you're most likely to judge the weight you need to add with your arm to do that better than with your legs. So that's the theory behind it. People agree, people disagree. As said, there is no one who can say that there's one thing that is totally correct.
And we see also Tirinzoni holds the rock a little bit at the tip and pushes it slightly. It's a little less hard than Hasselborg. It more just slips out of her fingers. And she makes that peel perfectly, so still 0-0 after 2 ends here in the semifinal at the Basel Women's Masters. And I'm Roger Golka, commentating now with Bastien Viss. This is the Curling Champions Tour event. It's the third one broadcasted live in Switzerland. And it's his team of Anna Hasselborg from Sweden versus the team of Silvana Tirinzoni from Switzerland. Both competitive teams. They will not represent their country at the future Olympics, but they're definitely the runner-ups.
So now as we start off with this third end, we would like to show you an interview with Team Tirinzoni, which was pre-recorded to this match, so have fun.
Hi, my name is Silvana Tirinzoni and we curl out of the curling club Aarau. Our main goal for this season will be to establish in the top 10 of Order of Merit and to defend our Swiss Championships title. That would qualify us for the World Championships, where we would like to win a medal. That's going to be our top goal. I would like to introduce now Marlene Albrecht, my lead. She's a she's a great team player. Never takes herself too serious, loves the game, and just a really great person to be around her.
Our skip is the most experienced one of our team and keeps herself fit. She loves to play the hard shots of a game.
To my left, our third, Manuela Sigrist. She's the youngest one of our team. She's always very well organized and always in a good mood. Yes. So last but not least, our second, that's Esther Neuenschwander. She's very stubborn.
Always too late.
Very annoying.
Negative thinking.
She hates to stand up early.
Always late.
And never smile.
So you can see, judging from the interview, there's a great team spirit in Team Tirinzoni. And now Savannah Tirinzoni trying to create some offense by playing a corner guard.
Yeah, Marlene Albrecht sadly ended up with long with her guard, and she was quite disappointed with that. There, well, it's a guard, it's a little bit short maybe.
Yeah, well, considering the ice is quite swingy, there's not much protection provided by that guard.
I think that now Agnes Knochenhauer will guard her rock, thus forcing the play in the middle. Well, I think it curled enough to guard about a third of this rock in the house. So yeah, just before we were talking about left-handed people and right-handed people, and we just received a question from Walter Grossenbacher, and he was asking actually how does a skip have to adapt the ice he's giving to a lefty compared to a righty player? More ice is in which direction, how much, or doesn't that affect the ice at all? Well, the big difference actually between a left hand and right hand is that they don't start from the same starting position. As when you see the hack there's one on the right and one on the left, and so if you start from one or the other, you see actually the ice from another perspective. So in theory, if you slide across the center line, just as Agnes Knochenhauer did there, your rocks will have a tendency to go with a bit, I don't know, a wider angle, and will come back less. So probably for a left-handed, you would have to give a little bit more ice if he has to throw in the same shot. So it's actually when you slide across the center line that probably your rocks will curl a little bit less than if you're directly on their other side and you have to slide directly on the broom without crossing that center line. So yeah, we will see again there. Silvana Tirinzoni is asking for an out turn there. And Esther Neinschwander here, as she slides, will have to cross the center line. So, and if she was left-handed, she would be more directly on the broom, and then probably her rock would curl a bit more, I think. So that's how I can answer this question. I don't know if you have anything to add to this.
No, I don't think so.
And and Walter says actually he's playing with a team of lefties. So I don't know if you're right-handed, then yeah, you'll have to adapt a bit the ice for yourself, because indeed the rocks on the outturn generally will curl a little bit more, less, sorry, but it's going to be an in-turn for a left-handed, for example. So you have to think maybe about that. In the end, I don't think that it's such a big difference, but it's something probably to take a bit into consideration, of course. Otherwise, he is saying thanks to the whole Laula team and especially to Martin Stuckey. Well, we're talking a bit again about our technician there.
Yeah, I think without him nothing would be possible here, so
yeah. He's there in family today with his daughter and wife, who are filming while he's managing all the screens. And so thanks to him and his family for all what they're doing. I think one day we should make an interview of Martin Stuckey so he can explain us his job.
Yeah, I think we should do that at some point.
And really what he's doing for Laula TV. Anyway, he likes to wake up really early, that's for sure.
I don't know if he likes to, but he does.
At least he does, yeah. So thank you for your email, Walter.
Yes, and for those of you who now realise, well, I've got a question too. Just write us to life@curlingchampionstour.org. You can see the email address at the bottom of the screen right now. So any questions, comments, or whatever thoughts you have, share it. We're always happy to answer as well as we can and give some insight into our thoughts.
Well, having had two very defensive ends, we finally start seeing a few rocks in play, and good little split there from Manuela Siegrist, who not only opens up the center but puts two of her own rocks in the house. And yeah, Anna Hasselborg has to be careful now. The rocks in the center there are not particularly well placed for her. And yet she has to remove one of those rocks, and yeah, I think she just wants to roll to the center in front of her own red shot.
Curlade mycket här eller satte Sandra bara lite vek? Vekaste handleden i världshistorien såklart. Ja.
Bra fart! Fin fart, 11! Lite plus! 10-8! 10-8!
Nej! Nej!
Nej!
Ja, hårt!
Perfekt!
Bra, Karin!
Yeah, good shot from Karen Rudström. Now Silvana will try and move around those rocks in the middle, especially that red one she wants to get rid of, and roll a bit behind her yellow. She manages to get as well behind the yellow in the house and the corner guard there. She'll be, I think, quite in good position. Apparently it's a little bit fast from Manuela Siegrist.
Needs to curl quite a bit.
Ooh, la 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 la.
Yeah, and just touches the red rock.
Yeah, a little bit disappointed, I think, with her shot. Apparently it was a little bit fast and wide. This is usually a pretty bad combination because you really can't use your sweepers at all in those kinds of situations.
Exactly. If you're, let's say, light and wide, that is basically, yeah, you are still able to influence.
Yeah, you can use your sweepers, exactly.
Exactly.
Or if you're a bit fast and inside, you can also use the sweepers. But wide and fast is usually a pretty bad combination in curling.
Exactly. And here also nice to see the pre-shot routine of Anna Hasselborg cleaning the rock, cleaning the slider. Well, people always ask, why do you clean a rock? Well, there is small pieces of debris on the ice, and only the slightest hair or dirt particle can cause a rock to go basically sideways if it's caught in the wrong spot, and you cannot influence that rock anymore at all. And to prevent that, it's very important that a rock gets cleaned before throwing. That's also a task the sweepers have to take care of, to see that there is no debris in the running path of the stone.
So now Silvana having a chance to lay two there, nice and buried. Yeah, she wants to get just the roll there. Oh, it's only curled a lot at the end there. I think Manuela Sigrist and Tirinzoni both got a little bit surprised. You can see the frustration there. As now I think she leaves Anna Hasselborg, who's a really good takeout player, a good chance for a double there. She has to pass really close from that yellow run top 12 foot here in the blue circle and hit on the nose of the yellow. There's the space. It is a possible shot, I think.
Yeah, I believe so too, and especially Anna Hasselborg, who is usually known for playing also up weight hits, so this should on a normal day not be a problem for her. But this shot is also a must-make shot for Anna Hasselborg. If she doesn't make it, then it's the opposition is basically quite close to scoring a deuce, which is certainly not the thing you want if you don't have last rock. On the other hand, if Anna Hasselborg manages to get rid of both stones, this will probably cause a force, if not even a steal. And so either points for Anna Hasselborg will go on the board, or they will get the last rock advantage.
Well, she's looking at the double, but I mean, there's other options. For example, a little tap and roll, you know, with like a hack weight. Or she would be in a pretty good situation if she manages to do that properly.
Viktigt att bli kvar i 8-foten. Absolut. Ja. Vilken mot mig? Alltså Karin kom ju verkligen i slutet. Sådär. Vilken mot mig, eller? En halv sekund till, så då.
And a key shot. which will be played by Anna Hasselborg, the young but already very experienced Swedish skip.
Samma fart!
10,5! Plus 10,5! 10,5!
Mer! Nej!
10,5!
Nej! Nej! Nej!
And doesn't quite get rid of the second one.
Yeah, she had to curl a little bit more, a little bit wide.
So now the chance for 2 for the Swiss team.
Well, it's still not a bad shot nevertheless, because she forces Silvana Tirinzoni to play quite a tricky takeout, I would say, to score 2. Yeah, she wants to play 11, weight 11, so hard hack weight. Yeah. Well, between hack weight and normal takeout, really.
Well, what we refer to as an 11, that is usually the time a rock needs to from one hog line to pass the next one. Usually stopwatches are used to get a clear indication of how quick the rock was. So you get takeout weights from usually 11, 10, 9, 8. Men's teams might even play 7s and 6s. Depends a bit.
Yeah, if you want to throw a big rocket there. Looks pretty close.
That looks quite close.
Yeah,
Very good.
Really
good
nice shot there.
So that will be 2 on the board for Silvana Tirinzoni in the third end. This, of course, means that the team from Switzerland has to start the fourth end, and Anna Hasselborg will have last rock advantage.
Yeah, well, very nice and precise takeout play there. You really needed to get the ice perfectly, and the weight really good too. I mean, you had to hit that red rock on the side and stay also in the rings, which is not that easy, so a really good shot from Silvana. And now they take a commanding lead of 2. 2-0. We're starting the fourth end. This is Anna Hasselborg versus Silvana Tirinzoni. This is a semi-final of the Curling Champions Tour event here in Basel. It's the Women's Masters. 2 weekends, 2 tournaments in Basel, 1 men, 1 women's. And both are live here on laola1.tv.
Fish. Rückspiel. Oj, den har skurit. Kör.
Mellan!
Tack Janne, kör nu.
So now we would like to present you
Mellan! Ja,
Bra skött tjejer.
Anna Hasselborg from Sweden.
So this is Team Hasselborg, and we're from Sweden. And my name is Anna Hasselborg, and I'm the skip. Our season goal is to be a part of the national squad for this year, so we need to win the Super League or the Swedish Championships. And we also want to be good at the university games that we're playing in December. This is Karin.
I'm Karen. I play third, and my hobbies are, I don't know, free practice.
Hi, my name is Agnes. I play second for Team Hasselborg, and my hobbies are hanging out with my family and sailing in the summer. And here is Sandra.
My name is Sandra. I'm the lead of Team Hasselborg, and I like writing and good books.
And obviously, I hopefully have a hobby as well, not only curling. I like music and, yeah, music. And training. Yep, that's it.
So here we are back. And
Ja, aber wenn, dann würde ich glaube Clearing spielen. Sonst liegen wir hinter der Tee, hinter der Guard. Ja.
situation is not too bad now for Silvana Tirinzoni. Well,
Wir liegen zweimal. aber-
2 rocks in the house shot, even though they're behind T line.
Beide mit Wicken.
They're trying to think, what should we do? Should we pick out the guard, take out this rock in the house?
Okay. Ich wollte einfach nicht den gleichen Fehler machen wie dort in Stockholm. Eben, aber dann nehmen wir die Guard weg, nicht? Was ist der auf der Also dann gehen wir halt auf den Rot. Ich würde jetzt den wegnehmen und nachher die Guard weg, halt, wenn sie perfekt hinterher spielt. Gut. Weg, oder? Geh raus. Ja. Musst vielleicht allein. Am Schluss. Clearing. Ja. Wow. Vier. Fish. Whoa.
So they're just playing a peel on this rock in the house. So pretty good shot. Problem is all those rocks are behind the tee line, and they can always, the only thing they can do really is annoy Silvana. For the double. Anna will just play a hit and stick on the nose. And I think it's going to be once again one of those little games of hits and rolls after, and Hasselborg will try and hit and roll behind her corner guard. It's very important, I think, for Esther Nunschfunder to remain in the house. Otherwise, it would Anna Hasselborg probably just do the simple draw behind the guard.
Gets a roll, not quite to the side she was expecting, but it's probably still open, not covered by the corner guard. So still a good situation for Silvana Tirinzoni to force Anna Hasselborg to take one. And this would lead to a loss of last rock. But the sweepers are off the rock. Will it hit. It just does. So now,
Anna, no questions asked.
Anna Hasselborg is going for the deuce.
Yeah, well, I think that's her best option now. The guard is pretty well placed on the side there. If she can really get nicely hidden behind, she can just bite the white there and
Bak 4! Helst inte! Den är bra snart! Den är 10 snart! Nej. Den är 10 om den curlar! 10 om den curlar!
the weight seems really good. I think has to curl a little bit more. Might be even a little bit too fast. No, I think it's just shot.
It is shot rock, definitely, but there is still a part open, I would say. So the Swiss team still gets a chance to hit it.
Yeah. Tricky little hack weight now. We'll see how much it curls there on this inside out with the hack weight. And it seems like Manuela Sigris is a little bit wide there.
Again, just removes it from play.
That was close.
Struggling a bit. That was the second in a row that just pushed the opponent's rock out of the house.
Well, the advantage of rolling out, though, and finally just touching it, is that she doesn't leave a rock behind the tee line, behind that corner guard, which would be really a big advantage for Hasselborg afterwards.
That is true. If Anna Hasselborg ever would succeed in putting one of her own rocks right onto an over tee rock of Savannah Tirinzoni, it would be quite difficult to get that out again, especially when it's behind a corner guard. And this rock's again a bit open. Still didn't curl enough.
Well, he just played there on this line, so I think Savannah knows the ice now. Just board, barrier.
Schöne, gut. Ja, precis. 11 eller?
By rolling nicely the middle, she forces Anna Hasselborg to hit that rock. Hasselborg. That little Swedish push.
Bra Fox! Elva!
And she will only hit the nose. Leaving Silvana an open takeout to force Hasselborg to score 1.
Which is certainly a great situation for Silvana Tirinzoni. If everything goes according to plan, they will be 1 up with last, which would certainly be a lot to their advantage. Absolutely no problem, this nose hit for Silvana Tirinzoni. And now Anna Hasselborg.
Yeah, she will play the exact same shot she did before.
Looks controlled and a nice shot.
Anna Hasselborg managing this shot to stay in the game. 2-1 is the score after 4 ends, sorry. And Anna Hasselborg having a slight disadvantage now, being 1 down without the last rock in the next end. We are now live from Basel, Switzerland. This is the Curling Champions Tour event. And we're watching the semifinal between the Swedish team of Anna Hasselborg playing against the Swiss team of Silvana Tirinzoni. Finalists last year, the Swiss are. They lost to Sigfridsson. Now Sigfridsson is out. Maybe the way is open for them to try and claim the title. Anyway, first they have to beat those young Swedish who have not given up yet.
Bra fart!
Komma, det är bra linje.
Kör för nära!
Kommer det?
Hake!
Ja, gasa då! Grymt, ge kärnen! Lite till!
So they will start creating a little bit of offense, placing a center guard, drag the game to the middle, and I think Anna Hasselborg is thinking, well, I have to force Tirinzoni to score 1, but by throwing that center guard up, maybe I'll get at some point a good chance to steal. If I do, I'll jump on it and try and come back 2-2 in the game.
Gut.
Okej. Nu gör vi lite där.
Marlon Albrecht comes up a bit long, bit heavy with her first rock. Now leaving Anna Hasselborg and Sandra Fleet in the situation to tuck one right onto the nose of that, lying shot on the button behind cover. This would be the perfect situation for the Swedish team to be in. But there's a lot of sweeping going on. Will he pass the guard? He just did. But it looks a bit short, and
a bit short, but not too bad though. I mean, it's in front of T-line, it can be used. This rock is for sure going to annoy Silvana Tirinzoni in this end. She has to be very careful now. That's what she wants to do, take position in front of that red rock to retake the advantage of the control zone. If you have any comments or questions, you can always write to us at the email address you see at the bottom of your screen, live at curlingchampionstore.org. Do not hesitate, we are there for you, and we answer all your questions as best as we can. And just maybe they didn't really exactly know at some point what to do exactly with that rock, thinking, oh, should it go for the freeze or finally sweep it to make it past and freeze on our own, and finally they got neither of them. Just got the little rub you don't want, really. Actually, Hasselborg can play a double takeout. They can push their own red.
get some granite moving. Agnes Knochenhauer leaving Silvana Tirinzoni in shot position. She'll try to play the exact same shot as she attempted before. It's always nice if you can throw a rock twice in a row, so you basically get to know the weight first and the ice first, and then the second time you have the best circumstances to actually make it perfectly. If it doesn't work the first time, which was the case here.
Yeah, well, of course, in theory, what you hope to do is having 2 times the same shot to play.
Comes up a bit light.
Nicht schlecht.
Hämtar du hennes skal utifrån? Nej. Lite mer bort.
Bra fart! Bak 8! 10! Bra fart! 10! Ja, bak 8! 10! Bak 8 måste ryggen!
Yeah, Agnes Knochenhauer with quite an important shot there. The line really has to be perfect, and it looks quite good.
Just tap back
to really good shot
back
there.
eight. Shot and second rock now in Swedish hands.
Yeah, Swedish are lying 2, and now Tirinzoni is forced to ask for a run back, apparently. The Swedish team has got much better position in the center of the house now. So Tirinzoni has to hope for a good shot there from Manuela Siegrist. No, sorry. Esther Neunschwander.
And a nice run back.
Yeah, so once again they swapped the situation and suddenly the Swiss are better positioned again. Good shot there. Open up the middle and got that really important runk in front of T-line. Right in the middle of the control zone.
Snabbt halva. Ja. Bra fart! Jättebra fart! Sorry! Perfekt fart! Nej! Nej, nej, nej! Upp! Upp!
Well, actually, these two teams, according to curlingzone.com, played each other 4 times before this event here, and the standings are 3-1 in the favor for of Silvana Tirinzoni. So last year at this very event, for example, it was Silvana Tirinzoni winning 6-2 over Anna Hasselborg.
Gaan we daar spelen? Ja? Es gaat fast besser als das, oder? Gut. Zehnhalb.
Manuela Siegrist.
Yep. Fish.
Girl
Fish.
from Basel.
Yeah.
Represented Switzerland twice at the junior level.
Rolls a bit too far. Not quite happy with it.
Yeah, once again, Anna Hasselborg has to be careful there. She would really want to avoid getting a 2 scored on her now.
Bra fart! Nej! Nej!
Good shot. But I think there is a double there.
There is, but it's a very thin double, I would think.
Silvana is there. Yeah, it's just showing it with her broom there.
Spelen we shot helder? Ja, vind ik goed. Nu naar hoog. Oké.
Yeah.
Not bad, actually.
Yeah, good shot. Well, now the Swiss are lying too, huh?
So in a good situation for a force, but there's still the center guard, so I wouldn't bet my money on the force yet.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see how it happens. But those 2 rocks at the back of the ring can help Hasselborg a lot.
Karins var 11,5. Jag tyckte ni hade skön fart när den kom fram.
Oh, really hard sweep. She could get the double there, actually.
Oh, that is, not, of course, quite cheeky.
Yeah, well,
Gets a bit lucky there. I'm not sure she intended that.
No. Thanks to the really hard sweeping of Agnes Knochenhauer and Sandra Flick, she managed to get a pretty good result out of it. Sadly for her, I mean, she remains in a nice position to play a double takeout there. And didn't just manage to get rid of the second yellow rock in the house. So the 2 is still on for the Swiss team. No problem for Silvana.
Nice shot.
Who leaves a double, though.
Possibilities there.
Yeah, and we know Anna Hasselborg likes to play those kinds of shots. The angle is there, and she can throw the weight.
Eller halv också, va? Hej! Hej! Vilken var Karin?
Seems like she pushed it a little bit wide. She hit the wrong side of the rock. That was really hard takeout. I think she just pushed it at the end, and sadly for her, didn't manage to get the double as she wished it. And now it's a free draw for 2 for Silvana Tirinzoni. Good chance to take a really good option on the game right now in the 5th end.
Richtig ist gut. Ich bin nicht stark. Wird mehr bremsen wie sonst. So lange, ja, ist gut.
And Savannah Tirinzoni does this just fine, bringing a 4-1 lead to her team. Of course, last rock now goes back to Anna Hasselborg. But being 3 up is quite a big advantage after 5 hands, I would think.
Det är inga nollor, men vi missar allting lite på felmarginal. Det som inte blir 100%, så jag menar.
Så jobbar vi.
Sista sten tar.
Alltså det är ju bara, hade vi inte det, alltså det är ju en jättebra omgång egentligen.
Ja, absolut.
Alltså alla stenar är ju
På rätt marginal.
Det är rätt på marginalen. Ja, det är ju bara min sista sten som inte är det.
Ja, men min dragning var ju lång, den var ju bak 8 liksom. Frysen hade ju varit jättebra. Alltså, så jag tycker det är fler stenar och generellt i de andra omgångarna också.
Yeah, those things are not turning really good now for the Swedish team. And the Swiss team of Silvana Tirinzoni is in the driver's seat now, with a 3-point lead. I think that now it's a must score 2 sixth end for Sweden, and we can count on Anna Hasselborg to get the best out of her team to fulfill that objective. Sandra Fleek. And a little hello actually to Fleek family if they're listening to us. Especially to UK. If they're listening to us, well, hello UK. And well, I hope you're looking and cheering for your sister there. And we have Marlene Albrecht playing lead. For Silvana Tirinzoni. She's had a pretty good game so far. And I think she wants that rock to be in the house behind her own first rock. It's just a little bit short. Height. Marlene. And now Hasselborg will just ignore those 2 rocks in the center and just ask for a draw behind her corner guard. Getting it top of the 12th would probably be a good option for Xander Fleek. We can see the sweeping gesture. Sweeping has become a really important part of the game. To get the most efficient sweeping, you need to have a perfect combination between the speed of the brushing and the pressure that you put on the broom, as it will heat up the ice slightly and allow the rock to go a little bit further and to curl a little bit less. So we managed to get that red rock nice and tucked in behind the corner guard, but maybe it's a little bit far, and it will not be too complicated for Esther Neinschwander to remove this rock with a light takeout. Hard sweeping ask though. Seems like they're on the corner guard. And it seems like Hasselborg will have a chance for 2 right now. The end is still quite long. So she'll just ask for another guard. Try maybe and place it even a little bit better. A little bit closer to the house maybe. And yeah, I think asking for the guard is a good option. I mean, you could try and draw a second shot in the house, either behind the yellow or just split the house in 2 and play another one on the other side. But it's really early in the end. If you start drawing in the house and the other one does a hit, then you have to do hits and stays for the whole end, and on the sides it can be a little bit tricky, so maybe sometimes it's a little bit easier to replace the guard. And you never know if the other team does something wrong. I mean, it could be a pick, it could be just a simple miss. Your corner guard could still be there, and you can draw a second one behind it, and then start to suddenly get a chance for 3. So good guard placed by Agnes Knochenhauer. And Silvana Tirinzoni not even looking at the hack, just peel. Just a simple peel, so hit the red and roll out. Clear the house. Wait. Yeah, and she perfectly manages to roll out. Good shot. And once again, Anna Hasselborg is asking to replace that guard. So Agnes Knochenhauer just has to play exactly the same shot. She was perfect weight before. And the sweepers make sure the direction will be just fine. And this time the guard is a little bit slower, and I'm not sure if it's guarding that rock really well. Oh yeah, they can go from the right-hand side there and remove that red rock, so yeah, just too bad for the Swedish. Yeah, apparently Manuela manages to see 3/4 of that rock. Shouldn't have too much trouble removing it. A little bit fast, apparently. Good shot.
Did not get quite the roll she wanted, but still, first objective, opponent rock removed.
Yep, but
reached.
Hasselborg can get a pretty good roll now, huh, I think.
Yeah, she basically can roll anywhere and will be behind cover, so she's got like half the house. But if she's only covered by the corner guard, she will have the disadvantage, as this corner guard is very far away from the house. So it will be considerably easy for the Swiss team to come around this corner guard, and that.
Yeah, and I think they got the perfect roll there.
Yeah, close,
yeah.
Perfect.
I think that's that's a really good roll they got there.
I'm not sure if it's possible from the inside. I would not think so.
Run back is possible.
Yes, that's what Silvana Tirinzoni is suggesting now.
Wir finden die Promotion auch besser. Ich glaube nicht so viel gegen raus. Ich würde es so machen. Ja, ich auch. Gut.
Yeah, everybody in the team agrees on the raise.
Ja.
And Manuela Siegrist.
Joined the team for this season.
Ay.
Doesn't quite
really close.
curl enough.
But at least now that rock is, let's say, open. But Hasselborg, as she's showing, is going to draw another one, and a two-ender is starting to shape up for the Swedish team.
Bort 4.
Kom med. Ligger mot. Ligger mot.
Ligger mot egen.
Dutta så.
Bort 4. Topp 4.
10. Topp 8.
Topp 8.
8. Topp 8.
Line seems really good. A lot of sweeping hats on the other sheet. Now winning 3-1 against Bine Felcher.
En viertel. En viertel. Ja.
In the other semifinal.
Ab dann komme ich schnell, oder was? Ja. Aber ja, ich würde eher das machen. Nicht? Man muss einfach sicher raus. Das ist es. Ja. Selfie.
It's actually a really good shot there that's played by Karen Rutström.
Tirinzoni trying to go after this just thrown rock. Rather short takeout.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
She has to be careful. She said, I must make sure I remove one of those rocks at least. I think she's going with like a normal weight, huh? Or is it curling too much? Oi. Ooh la la. Rubs the guard, and that's quite a bad operation there. Because now Anna Hasselborg has actually a good chance of replacing that guard better than before, but she has to be careful to... This yellow top 12 foot on the center line is quite dangerous still, because it could still give a chance to steal. If Hasselborg draws to the other side, I mean, she probably has her 2 guaranteed though. She can also replace the guard and see if there's a 3, but if she places another one in the house, I'm sure Silvana will go for the double. If she makes it, then Anna Hasselborg would have a simple draw for 2.
Jag tror inte det.
Det är väldigt långt ut. Kolla spåret här. Ja,
Den ska bara ta 8.
ja men kolla fötterna.
Det är samma fart. Alltså 97 på 10. Så 0 på topp 8. Är det sådär?
Ja, 0 tror jag är bra.
Så full 8 då?
Måste gå upp! Måste gå upp! Jättefin linje. Ja, Mats åt Anna. Sandra. Jättefin linje.
Måste in, det är jätteviktigt.
Bara här, ligger upp!
She needs to curl a little bit more. And I think Silvana will probably go for a double now on the left. Yeah, the problem with that red rock is that if she makes the double, Silvana will stay buried behind her own yellow, which will complicate Anna Hasselborg's life to score 2. I don't know if I would have rather maybe placed a guard on those 2 reds or just drawn simply to the other side, you know. Because drawing on the other side, Tirinzoni being 4-1 up probably wouldn't have taken the risk of doing just a little hit and roll, she probably would have gone for a double and give up 2. And now I think Hasselborg is crossing her fingers that Silvana doesn't make this shot perfectly. Looks pretty good to me.
It looks like there are still 2 reds to me. Not quite sure.
Curled a little bit more. I think Silvana and Manuela Siegrist both got a little bit surprised there.
Curled more than they expected.
Yeah, just at the end around the hog line it started going. Yeah, and I think Anna seems quite certain. She already has 2 shots and she will just draw the forfeit for a 3rd one. She just played a draw on her last shot. She probably has the weight. She has the sweepers. Just has to throw around top 12 weight and let the sweepers take it to the forfeit. And a draw for 3. Come back in this game after being 3 down.
Bra fart! Håll igång!
Väldigt rakt! Väldigt rakt! Ja, ligger där! Väldigt rakt! Ja, bra fart!
Måste fart!
Ligger där! Måste curla lite! Ja, ligger där!
Sweepers seem quite confident about it. Dragging it.
Ligger där!
Seem like it's just coming
That's
perfectly
good.
fine there. Perfect T-line weight.
Perfect. So that would be
3.
3.
3 for the Swedish, who come back 4-4 after being trailing by 3. So good operation there by the Swedish, who are back in this game. And a good comeback there. So we're going to have a very interesting 7th and 8th end now. I think what Anna Hasselborg wants to do is either steal 1 or force Tirinzoni to score 1, but one thing she has to make sure of is that somebody scores now in the 7th end.
Yeah, now we would like to update you on the other semi-final match that is taking place 2 sheets beside our broadcasting game. That would be Switzerland with Miriam Ott playing another Swiss team with Binia Felcher. Ott currently up 3-2 with last rock after 6.
Lite pålagd.
Bra fart!
Lite pålagd. Jättefin linje.
Känns lite lång.
Det är lite lång ut.
Går den rak eller?
Nej, det
Bra
kommer
fart nu.
fint nu. Kommer grymt.
Våga inte.
Ligger på linan om den är nära. Lugn.
Actually, we just had an email from Johanna Sundgren, who said, hello, you just nobodies. Well, hello.
Hiya.
And she's following us from Härnösand in Sweden, so I hope I pronounce it properly. So enjoying our comments, and we have a wonderful autumn day, 11 degrees Celsius and lovely sun. So I think the weather today is quite nice, even though we're inside there with the curling, and saying keep up for the good work, and she's cheering for a 2 for Team Hasselborg. Well, you didn't even get a 2, you got a 3.
So you should be cheering even more now.
Yeah. So I imagine you're a happy fan now. Well, thanks for our email, Johanna, and I hope you're doing fine there with the beautiful weather in Sweden. And thanks for following us on Lauda TV there. We're live now from Basel, Switzerland. This is the 7th end now of the semi-final of this Women's Masters, this Curling Champions Tour event. This is Team Hasselborg of Sweden playing the last non-Swiss team actually in competition, playing against the Swiss team of Silvana Tirinzoni, finalists of last year. And it is now 4-4 in the 7th end, and hammer is to Tirinzoni now.
And yes, if you have any comments, thoughts, or questions, you're very welcome to write us right into the commentators box here in Basel. Please write at live@curlingchampionstour.org, and we will answer your questions as good as we can, as far as possible to our knowledge. But we're also happy to just get some thoughts, inputs from your side. We always get interesting information from all over the world, we can say, basically. Yeah, I would think so. And we're looking forward to numerous emails to this very email address that you can see at the bottom of your screen.
So thanks to Johanna for your email, and so we're expecting, or we're waiting for your next comments and questions. And nice hit and roll, just didn't get behind the guard though. Both teams trying to leave it simple. I think Tirinzoni is hoping for a 0, while Hasselborg has to force somebody to score. She can try and steal with that center guard yet, but she can also force Tirinzoni to score a 1 and take the last rock in the 8th, and hopefully for her score 2 to win the game and go advance to the final.
Gets the hit and roll out.
It's very important now for Hasselborg to hit and stay in the house. She's looking just at the draw, take a little bit more risk. Try and start forcing the game to the center. She really needs, if she draws, to get nice and tucked in behind that guard. If she hits and rolls out with that yellow, be sure that Silvana will ask for a peel on that red guard and try and go for the 0 ender and keep the last rock for the 8th and the last end of this game.
Even rolls a bit too far.
Yeah, tiny bit too much of sweeping though, but a nice effort there from the Swedish team. Nearly got that difficult hit and roll right.
Selfie. First. Sicher. Zie, is goed. Zie, weiter, meer nog een beetje. Wow. Ja, goed zo nog niet. Goed zo. En. Tycker vi sätter den här vicken, eller? Vi lämnar ju för draget då, men...
Ja, jag tycker det är bra.
Spela 11 bara.
Drar hon inte perfekt så kan vi antingen frysa eller runda efter. Bra fart! 11-3! 11-3!
Ja, hårt!
Just manages to stick
sticks in
around.
there. Whew.
Hold.
And now Tirinzoni has to also do the hit and stay. Otherwise, Hasselborg will draw. We'll ask Karen Nordstrom to draw one right behind that center guard. It looks like it's going just fine. Nice hit on the nose. And this time, Anna Hasselborg taking a bit of risk there. Going for the draw behind the guard. She's allowed to stay a little bit open on the right-hand side there. And as Silvana try to take out there could be a chance for a jam on the yellow behind. Of course, what they really want is to be perfectly tucked in behind, in front of the T-line. It seems like it's going right fine. Line seems really perfect.
Great weight, but
pretty good shot.
Doesn't curl quite enough, but it's not bad.
Yeah, and I think pretty good option there from Silvana, who really doesn't want to get a jam there. That would be a pretty bad option. So just hit the guard and roll in the house and have 2 rocks inside. And then the Swedish would have to be really careful then not to give up a 2 or even a 3. So shooter has to stay in the house. Whoa, that curled a lot at the end there. Once again, the teams got surprised. Really big swing there on the last few meters, and Manuela's rock, who seemed really good, just didn't make it to the house. And now no pressure on Anna Hasselborg, who has actually suddenly a good chance to steal if she manages to replace that center guard exactly where she wants it. I think she wants to play it reasonably close to the house. If she's a little bit too far, it would be possible for the Swiss to play a light tap and stay with 2 shots. On top of that, the Swedish have to be careful because that yellow rock in front of the house can be split.
Hake nära! Hake! Hake! Nära! Nära!
They wanted to curl a bit. That's really close, actually. It's even a bit too close. Maybe they swept it a little bit too much at the end.
Yeah, but it's not too bad. It's
but it gives a chance to Silvana to light 2 in the house there, huh? If she makes that double.
Yes, but the double is not that easy.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Very important shot now for the Swiss. It's close. Oh, no. Oh, that was hard to do worse, I think.
Yep.
Got the jam. Not only got the jam, but stayed with some kind of guard there. And yeah.
Well, this leaves the chance to Anna Hasselborg to close up the house.
Yeah, and
leaving Silvana Tirinzoni with a really tough one on her last.
yeah,
For one,
the maximum she can score is 1, and she will probably have only a run back. So quite a difficult shot. So I think Anna just has to play the exact same shot than before.
Jättebra fart! Ligga hake! Hake!
If she can actually just bite the rings, that would be really good, I think. Maybe it could even block the run back.
And the sweepers are on it. Needs to curl a bit more.
Bra. So it's good.
Bra sounds good. Still a bit open though, I would say.
Oh, and
But there's
Silvana
not much
going
left
for a draw. Yeah, I think she doesn't want to try the run back because
Nein, take out auf dahinter.
oh no, Silvana accepts to get it 1 stolen on her. She will not take any risks and just accept that Hasselborg steals 1. So I think objective accomplished for the Swedes now, eh? Who will be 1 up without. Silvana will be trailing by 1 in the last end, and will try and score 2 to win it directly in the 8th. If they score only 1, there will be an extra end, and Hasselborg will have the last drop. So
Does the job.
yeah,
And
that's it.
that would
So
be a steal of 1 for the Swedish team.
big comeback there from the Swedish team, who was trailing by 3 about a half an hour ago, and suddenly is 1 up. So we're going to start playing the 8th and final end of this game. Well, it might not even be the final end if Tirinzoni only scores 1. We'll also see an extra end, so tight game still. Options are open. Anybody can still make it. And so I think we will see Sweden drawing 1 top of the forfeit, then Switzerland playing a guard on the side, corner guard, and then finally Sweden placing a center guard in front of their rock on the button.
Bra skott nu. Bra sen nu.
Härligt, pass på. Nej. Gå weg dan. Sehr mal. Ich weer weg. Weer weg. Dat is echt goed. Okay. Ja, ja. First! Dat is goed. Oh, dat is sterk.
Ja.
Spela 7 nu.
Vi kör.
we're now in this final end of this game, and we actually just received an email there from Tim Webb, who's saying, I'm a novice, and when it comes to watching curling, can you recommend a website that will help me with a straightforward explanation of the rules? Well, I don't really know exactly which specific website, but you can actually just go on the Wikipedia page. Actually, it's quite a complete page, and you can have a lot of information on the game, the history of the game, the rules, and also breakdown of tactics used so I can better understand what is going on. Well, I think
there is also a website called curlingbasics.com, which will give you an insight on basically everything you need to know to get started with curling.
Well,
and there you can pick between a German and the English version of the webpage, and there you have basically an explanation of what is what in curling. Every single shot is described, and I think you even get certain animations. Yes, you do. You do get animations on it. So curlingbasics.com would be a site, but also on the website of the Canadian Curling Association, you find a good website. If you, I'm not sure how to, if you use the drop-down menu Go Curling, there is a Getting Started in Curling for Adults, and you will have on the right-hand side, you will have a menu with strategy. So those two would be my recommendations for beginners who would like to get first insights into curling strategy and curling terminology.
Yeah, well, he was asking also for basic breakdown of like basic tactics, and we can already, explain usually the basic of tactics is that, well, every end you have one team that will throw the last rock, and generally that team will try and score. With that advantage of throwing the last rock at the end, we'll try and score 2. So that's usually the objective number 1 when you have the last rock. When you don't have the last rock, what you try and do is only force that team that has the last rock to score 1 maximum. And then when you take the last rock, score 2. So generally speaking, the team that doesn't have the last rock to only force the other team to score 1 will usually try and play in the middle to make that that house much smaller for the team that has the last rock, so it will be more difficult for them to score 2. So generally speaking, you will see the team without the last rock trying to put a center guard and playing rocks behind, as you will see the team with the last rock trying actually to keep the center clear and playing more on the sides, just trying to get some position on the sides and leave the center open so that they can draw for 2 at the end, or only draw for 1 if ever things really turn bad. So this is usually about the basic of tactics, is that when you have the last rock, you try and play a bit on the sides and keep the center clear. And when you don't have the last rock, you try and mess it up in the center with playing center guards. And sometimes you see teams, if they see they cannot score 2 with the last rock, but they can blank the end, means have a 0 score, so no rocks touching the house, then they will just blank the end and keep the last rock advantage for the next end. So this would be the basic of tactics, if you want to sort of understand basically what's happening. After, of course, in a game all the situations are different, and so you have to adapt yourself to the situation, never usually forgetting a few basics like keeping the center open when you have the last rock, and trying to stop the other team from playing to the sides when you don't have the last rock.
Well, basically the idea of keeping the center open, you can see that right now in this game. Silvana Tirinzoni, who does have hammer, wants to keep the center open, so she will always have a chance to get to the forfeit, and with that to get at least a score on the board, so she could force an extra end in case she doesn't manage to score 2.
Yeah. Exactly there. Well, we have the situation where Silvana is 1 down with last rock. And so if she scores a 2 now in this last end, she wins the game right away. If she only scores 1, well, she will take the game to the next end, but won't have the last rock. So it's really preferable for her to score a 2. Meanwhile, Hasselborg has to sort of take a balance between maybe trying and finishing the game now by maybe stealing 1, but by making sure that she doesn't get a 2 scored on her. So right now she took position in the middle, and to make Silvana's last rock as complicated as possible. And you see that she's blocking the middle while Silvana is trying to keep it open, just like you said. So you have those last end tactics were sometimes a little bit different from the from let's say what would happen in like the middle of the game. But basically here you have a good example of having a team that must score 2 that will try and play the sides, and right now they're a bit stuck trying to have to clear the middle. So we can see that the Hasselborg team has got good position, and they played a defensive shot there with that takeout.
T-Line ist schon gut. T-Line ist schon gut, es sollte einfach Shot sein. Ja. 14-3, 14-2.
Yeah. Actually, I just received a message actually for Tim Webb on curling.ca. Just go on, start curling. Thank you, Benoit.
Denk ist recht gut, inner lang. Platz. Sehr viel Platz, gar nichts. Okay. 7.
Otherwise, another good way to learn about all those tactics is by watching a lot of games. Because you will see all kinds of different situations, but with some situations that will repeat themselves. For example, the current situation we have, one team being up 1 without last rock is actually very frequent. Well, some teams prefer being up 1 without the last rock, and some teams prefer being down 1 with last rock. It depends. Actually, the statistics show that about in 2/3, 3/4 of the time, the team that doesn't have last rock with 1 up in the last end wins more often. So in theory, the statistics give a big advantage to Team Hasselborg. Now Karen Rudström plays a really important shot now. She can just bump that yellow and roll. Yeah, I think the result is good. They're quite satisfied with it. Team Tirinzoni is in a bit of trouble. As you can see, Swedish team is trying to reduce the size of the house by placing their rocks close to the center. And they're doing this quite well right now. So thanks for your email, team, and I hope that we answer your question properly. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to write again. And we're glad that you're enjoying your curling coverage on La Ola TV. So Hasselborg still in a good situation with that red rock, nice and well buried, but still has to be careful because there are 2 yellow rocks in the house, and I think I wouldn't be surprised to see her try some kind of takeout now. She could draw in front of Owen Red, but at the risk of leaving Tirinzoni a nice double, so. Well, if she gets that draw nicely, then it's going to be difficult for Tirinzoni. You can see how she's wiping the rock, making sure that there's no little debris under it.
Bakfyra! Den är bra snart! Bakfyra! Kör för ner!
Ja! Hårt!
Finally, I think they went for plan B. Rock is not really good though, because if ever Tirinzoni freezes on it, she will be shot rock.
Der bringt nichts. Nein. Hinten 4.
So I think they decide on the tap back of the red rock, which lies in just in front of the tee line. So they will have a bit of a backing.
Yeah, well, she needs to make sure with her first strike that she takes good position there in that control zone. Possible takes the shot. She still has to score 2, and she still has that possibility. She would have to skin by that yellow center guard and tap that rock just a little bit behind tee line and sit in front of them. That would be really good for her. Hasselborg probably wouldn't have such a good chance to play a shot then after.
Recht gut. Länge sollten wir. Wow. Nein. Ja, könnt. Ja. Nur wenn ihr wollt. Nur wenn ihr wollt. Wow. Wir nicht. Wow. Oh, ist weit. Nein. Nur 6. Wow. Muss Schott sein. Ist nur 6. Muss Schott sein. Ja, ist er. Hat tief. Muss Schott sein.
Doesn't quite tap it as far, but it's shot rock for the moment.
Ja, ist Schott. Ist Schott. Ist gut.
Seems like Hasselborg will just want to freeze on that rock and prevent any chance from scoring 2 now. I think she's accepted the fact. That is going to be ending in an extra end. Oh no, sorry. Going for a roll.
Oh, nice
Good
shot.
Really good shot.
Well, that will be difficult for Savannah Tirinzoni to get shot.
Well, I think that if she hits her yellow, she will end up being
that's
shot.
true. That is true.
I don't think. Oh, would she actually have a chance to score 2 now? The real rocket.
Well, if you hit the yellow one, you would probably have a chance of removing all 3 of them.
Ja, schnell können wir vielleicht gehen. Also dass jetzt erst in dem ankommt? Ja. Und dann geht er natürlich so. Ja. Und dann nimmt er nicht auch noch mit. Nein. Tappen. Ja. Wird auch. Kann ich gleich mit fahren? Ja.
Very important shot now for the extra end. Stay in the game. I think that she just has to make contact with her yellow, and she should be shot rock. Slow.
Will she make it? Will she make it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think that's
close,
good.
but I think
Yeah,
it's
that's
enough.
good. She's touching the pin. Good shot by Silvana Tirinzoni, who seemed to stress a little bit. So it will be an extra end.
De hade bara 23 sekunder som var inte så himla mycket bättre. Nej. Bra tjej. Okej, nu har vi det vi kan. Ticka. Nej, mitt icewäxtos.
So this semifinal will be played. Will be won at the extra end. Advantage to Team Hasselborg. 5-5 now is the score, and the Swedish have the last rock in this end. So now we will see those typical extra end strategies. Team without the last rock placing 2 center guards. One close to the hog line, one close to the house. We will see if Anna Hasselborg will ask her lead to play a tick shot, knowing there's this rule of the free guard zone. You're now allowed to remove those rocks out of play. And so you can just push them to the side. She gonna make contact? Oh, just not enough to push it too much to the side. Nice try from Santa Raflik.
Gut. Sehr lang. Lang. 1. Nur drüber. Wow, das ist lang. Darf gerne. Geh mal weg. Ja, bis 2. Nehmen dann aber sicher die gleiche Linie. Fest? Ja. Ich laufe noch recht weit. Komm fast bis du... Doch ein bisschen. Ja. Gut so. Schön. Okay.
Sommerfahrt! Sommerfahrt! Sommerfahrt!
Another soft peeling attempt. Soft peel means nothing else than trying to move an opposing guard as far away from the center as possible. As due to the 4-rock rule, these rocks cannot be removed. This happened right now, so the stone hit too much of the guard, so the rock had to be replaced.
Linie wäre gut, können, ja. 4 Fuß. Fest. Linie ist super. 4 Fuß. Schau mal.
Ist 4 Fuß?
Okay, super. Lina ist perfekt.
Will noch ein bisschen?
Nein, nicht. Bis 4 Fuß.
Now,
Ziehen!
very important shot in those situations when the two guards are there is the first rock of the second to get that good position in the house. This is usually a very early key shot there in those kinds of ends, and now we will see the Swedish peeling power with Agnes Knochenhauer, expert in those kinds of heavyweight takeouts. Not only you need to be able to throw hard, but precise. So that's one out, and the Swiss will replace another one. Try not to leave them
Size.
Ja. Ich glaub schon
any
noch.
space
Huh?
for a double.
Ich glaub schon. Was willst du sonst?
Sicher drüber.
Ich glaube, es ist nicht so lang. Ich würde ihn wischen. Münd!
Fest dann. Lina wäre super. Nur drüber.
Nicht drüber.
Nur drüber. Macht sicher.
Ja, ist sicher.
Gell, ein bisschen komisch. Ziehen ihn.
Ist drüber. Gut,
Gut. Nein.
Drehen.
Nochmal.
Ja.
Oder? Ich weiss gar nicht, was sonst machen.
Ich auch nicht. Ja, da könntest du so rundherum.
So.
Ja.
Machen wir
So
noch einen
one more
Guard,
peel.
oder?
Ja, ist gut.
Silvana Tirinzoni is saying that she doesn't really know what else to do apart from putting up another long guard.
I did see finally she called for a draw or guard.
Yeah, now she called for another guard, and they agreed that they would come around the middle again with the next rock.
Wie lang?
1 bis 2.
Okay. Die Linie ist gut.
Gut.
Innen Kerlen noch. Wo ist er?
2. Ist 1 bis 2. 2.
Gut.
Schön so. Gut. Ja.
Kolla det igen. Kolla det igen.
Nehmen wir da.
Ich glaube,
Was machen wir dann, wenn die Situation so bleibt am Schluss?
wie es bleibt.
Irgendwie
dann
da,
müssen wir
und das
irgendwie
bringt
da
auch nichts.
kommen.
Hä?
Müssen wir irgendwie da kommen, aber dann hat sie da einen oder 4 Fuß, oder?
Ja, und hat einen einfachen Doppel
Ja.
auch. Irgendwie die Situation ist nicht wirklich gut.
Nein,
oder?
eben müssen wir nochmal rum.
Da, halb versteckt ist schon gut.
Ja. Okay.
Die Line.
So they agreed on coming around this guard. In the middle once more.
Ziellinie. Ans Gas, 2 ist er. 4. Okay, fest dann.
4 Fuß.
Oh, Platz hat er. Die Linie ist gut. Dranbleiben. Oh, wo sind wir?
5. 6. 6. Länge ist so
Zieh,
gut.
zieh. Fest. Zieh. Noch ein fest. Gut gespielt.
Okay, that still didn't end up in the perfect situation. Would have loved to come around this guard. They said half buried would be okay. This is fully open now. So a chance for Anna Hasselborg to...
Well, Anna Hasselborg with a little hit and roll there could take really good position now.
Would be tough for Silvana Tirinzoni to...
She has to play on that rock in the center because it's open now and it's really well placed, so she needs to hit it out now. Gonna curl a little bit too much.
Curl a bit too much. And screwed on the rock in the 8-foot.
At least they pushed it nicely back behind the tee line. The 4-foot is open, but it's now Tirinzoni's turn to play, and they're in a pretty good situation now. There's a double still in the yellow.
Ja, sie hat dann nur noch 2.
Können wir dann nicht noch mal vorne nach, bis vorne nachgehen?
Finde ich nicht schon. Finde ich nicht so gut.
Okay.
Ich finde ihn gut. Und das entscheidet. Finde ich gut.
Gut.
Well, they decided to play a draw to the top 12. The problem with that is that Anna Hasselborg will, if this rock ends up where they want it, will always have a chance to come around this very rock and lie shot and be, it's probably not very easy to remove it. You would probably even have to play a race over the rightest of all yellows. So I think they changed their mind.
Sehr knapp. Achtung. Ja.
Nur Länge.
Nein, richtig ist gut.
Wow.
Muss gelten. Sehr knapp. Okay, kann nicht. 5.
Nein, Länge ist
nicht gut. Nein, Länge ist gut. 6.
Wow, wow, wow,
wow. 5. Nur 4, 5.
Nein, 5.
5.
Oh.
Gut so. Okay.
Okay.
Is there now a triple? Well, I think that Anna Hasselborg, well, she could be looking just at the double on the left. She needs to do something there in the middle. She can't leave the situation the way it is.
Yeah, and whoever scores at the end of this extra end will meet Miriam Ott in the final. On sheet 1 in the arena, team of Miriam Ott beat the other Swiss team of Binia Felcher 4-2.
Gets rid of one, really.
Seconds basically out of play as well.
She, how to say, she empties out the 4-foot, so she's right now leaving herself a chance to draw the 4-foot.
Siehst du den ganz, hä?
Nein, nicht ganz. Fast ganz.
Okay. Da schön in der Linie, oder?
Ja.
Now tricky where to place the rock, as you don't want to leave a simple race double takeout. If you're too close to the one lying just in front of the forfeit.
In der Linie zu dem dort. Vorne 4 aber? Ja, vorne 4. Fast Speisser Tori, nicht?
Kannst vielleicht ein bisschen mehr im Blätterteil, also nicht kürzer. Das kann mit
Schneller! Wow. Nein, ist so. Wo ist er? Weg!
Ja, er ist nur 4.
Viel Platz aber.
Maximum vorne 4 Beisser.
Ja,
Tirinzoni with her last shot, this extra end, trying to really make Anna Hasselborg's life as complicated as possible.
First!
She wants to touch the forfeit.
And she sure does.
Ooh. Problem is that if if Anna Hasselborg hits that one on the nose there, is she shot?
Well, that's a big question now. It's going to be tough.
Tough to say there. Well, Anna Hasselborg will draw now. She has to place it.
Oh nein! Ja, ist alles gut. Gut gespielt. Gut. Guck mal, wir können mehr verstecken. Ja.
So I think Anna Hasselborg decided on the straightforward draw. Full forfeit for the win.
Yeah, well, she has to be fully in the forfeit. She knows the weight. And now Tirinzoni crossing her fingers. I think they played well enough there to give Anna Hasselborg a complicated shot at the end. She has a draw. It's there. She just has to play the T-line weight. If the broom is in the right place, then without any problem she should take the shot. But under the circumstances, it's always quite complicated. And the sweepers are on it.
The sweepers are sweeping it all the way. They say bra linje, perfect linje. I can only translate that as
like it's
great
getting
line,
quite
perfect
close.
line.
Uh-oh.
Will it sit in time? It will not.
Oh no, they swept it a little bit too much. And
overswept.
Yeah, Tirinzoni finally pulls it out of the fire in the extra end. Well, I don't know, there was maybe a little mistake from the counter skip there who left her position to try and help the sweep instead of just looking at the rock coming. I don't know, maybe that was because the line was perfect and sweepers were on it, but if she maybe had kept her position, she could have seen the rock coming from the hog line well, and I don't know. Anyway, it was really close. A little bit of sweeping mistake there. I don't think Anna can really be angry at herself on this one. It happens. It's a team game. You can't, I don't know. When a shot is missed, it's not necessarily the fault of anyone who threw it. It was well played, and I think the sweepers are quite disappointed with it. But as you can see, Anna Hasselborg says, well, you know, that's life. It doesn't matter. Sometimes we'll win them, sometimes we lose them. And, well, I suppose they're quite disappointed because they made a good comeback. It was a really close game. Both teams, I think, deserved to win. And now Tirinzoni will join Mariamut in the final. Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting final that we broadcasted live here on Laula TV in this Basel Masters Curling Champions Tour event.
Yes, we will be back at 14:45. That will be in roughly an hour for the final game. This All-Swiss final. Until then, we wish you a nice break and hope you tune in later. My name is Bastian Weiss. I had the pleasure of commentating with Roger Gulka today, this semi-final, and we will be back later on for the final game. Goodbye and see
1
you
hour.
later.
So thank you very much, Bastian. It was always a pleasure. And see you later.